other different types of dementia, and depending upon where the difficulties lie, that in the illness determines the course of treatment.
Yes, you can. All you have to do is want to do it.
Yes.
Want to be it.
When you set your mind to it, and this is who you are, and
the grown men. We have the youth that we need to mentor, and we need to inspire, and we need to motivate. But I know, as a recent conversation between you and I, that you're also in the business of motivating grown men. Through that, I'm supposed to see God in it at every turn. So me going to the Sea of Galilee was to remind me of that, to refresh myself of that. It is all under control, that He does have it. It's just as clear as that fresh water that I saw.
You're Our Unity, hosted by LaShawn Walker, Tuesday nights, 6 p.m. EST.
Welcome, everyone, to You're Our Unity, a show that wishes to spread a spirit of peace and love in the world, one conversation at a time. We want to encourage you to check in on the elderly, your family and friends who are up there in age. Please go out there and check on them during this holiday season. Make sure that they're okay. Don't just let them tell you they're okay. Actually go and physically check on them and make sure that they are well. I hope that you guys are having a wonderful day. Please like, share, and follow. Welcome in. I am LaShawn Walker, your host. It is a beautiful day here in the neighborhood. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. I always say, how are you? Tell me a little about what your Thanksgiving was like. What did you do? I actually got to be around some family and friends. As I mentioned, that was the most important thing to me this holiday season, is just to be around my family and friends. I wanted to just experience all the faith and the gratitude that I have with the ones that I love. So, I don't cook, and I tell you that every time we talk about food. I enjoy eating it. I don't cook it. So this Thanksgiving, I failed not to not cook again. And I went to my girlfriend's house, actually. I had some friends come from out of town. We had some from Maryland and some from Atlanta. So I was able to share some beautiful food with them and beautiful company, actually. So there is the feast that my beautiful friend Kimberly had in store for all of us. I honestly just partaked in a few things, some pasta and maybe some chicken, but that was about it. And then I met up with my girlfriend who came in from Maryland. My family, we went also to our aunt's house just to pick up a few things, but it was really just all about just sharing in the love and the compassion and the beauty of this season and spending time with each other. The next day, which was Saturday, we decided to go to Brooklyn. Don't travel to Brooklyn often, but it was truly a treat. I went down to the Brooklyn Public Library and I had the chance to experience the Book of Hove. It was amazing. So that is Charlene there and my beautiful nephew, Jace, who attended as well. It was very interesting. I am a child of hip hop and grew up loving it, embracing it, and still so much immersed in it. And seeing the Book of Hove and all that he's, just accomplished and all that he's contributed to hip hop was really amazing. So I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So again, I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Please put in the chat what you did. Who did you spend it with? Did you check in on the elderly family members in your life? I was going to take a trip to Virginia, actually, to see my mom. I mentioned that last week on the show that I wanted to spend some time with her. I haven't seen her in a few months. My daughter hasn't seen her in a year. And as they're getting up there in age, we want to make sure that they are still living well and that they're healthy and that they're thriving. And unfortunately, the weather kept me from going to Virginia, but I was needed here. My aunt, my mom's sister, lives in Jersey. And every time we call this woman, she says, I'm fine, I'm doing well, everything is great. And then she calls me to tell me that she needs me. So I rush out to Jersey and I am now helping this young, I say young lady, this elderly lady who is still young at heart with her medical issues that she's dealing with right now. And no one knew about actually how much care she actually needed. And I was just put through a wealth of emotions the last couple of days, just making sure that she is okay. And so this is why I encouraged you guys in the beginning of the show to make sure that you check in on those elderly family members and friends, because they'll just tell you what they think you need to hear in order not to worry about them. And now I am extremely worried, and I want to make sure that she is well, but I also want her to tell me the truth when she actually needs something. It just drove me crazy. You have no idea. But I'm glad that she is doing okay. I got on the phone with a few medical professionals and got her some assistance and, exactly what she needed. But when they are alone, as I mentioned, please check on them, because they want to have us believe that they are doing okay, and 9 times out of 10 that they're not, honestly. So as I said, she sent me through a wealth of emotions. All of those emotions made me question, is if I wasn't related to this lady, would I actually like her? I really had to question that, because I just could not believe how she was just so opposed to wanting to get the attention and the care that she needed. And she tells me that I inspire her all the time, and that, the things that I pour into her and the information that I give her, it encourages her to want to be well and want her to be better. And it's unfortunate, that she's not actually taking the advice that she's receiving from me. So I had to question, like, would I really like this lady? But it was beautiful seeing her, unfortunately, under these circumstances. But I'm glad that I got a chance to take a chance to get to see her and see how she's doing. So please, you guys out there, check in on your family members, those that are sick, those that are alone, those that live not that far away, but close enough that you can go see on a regular basis. Take advantage of those times and actually go and care for them. So this month is gone. I really am so shocked that December is in a couple of days. I enjoyed November. It came in so quickly. If you remember, I was sick for like the whole month of October. So November was the time for me to catch up on a lot of things that I had to do. And I did. I honestly feel productive. I feel like I decluttered a lot because, I had to get rid of a few things. But I also got the chance to sort of catch up with a lot of people that I haven't spoken to in a while. So this month, I'm going to end with the youth edition of the You're Our Unity show. We're going to be talking to this amazing young lady that I met a couple of months ago, actually, at the Hans Foundation Diversity, Equity, and Inclusivity Committee meeting. She's an amazing young lady that's doing some great things, not only in her life, but her school and her community. And I wanted to share her with you today. So the title of the show is Diverse Chemistry. And we're going to be talking to Aisha Mowla. Is that right? Mowla, right? Aisha Mowla. I knew I was going to get that wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Aisha Mowla is a senior at Brooklyn Technical High School, majoring in chemical engineering. Aisha was born and raised in Brooklyn and wouldn't have it any other way. Aside from being captivated from chemistry, Aisha is very active in her school community. She is the president of the Student Equity Team and a founding member of the school support groups. Aisha is also the captain of the girls varsity fencing team. She is a proud crew trainer at her part-time job and loves serving customers and her fellow crew members. Aisha's experiences in life has inspired her to become a doctor in the future, where she can use science to serve others. She's here to share her view of and on diverse chemistry. Please help me welcome this beautiful young lady that I just butchered her last name, Miss Aisha Mowla. We had a whole lesson again before this interview, and I'm reading the name, but not processing exactly what it's supposed to sound like. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
No problem, no problem. As I mentioned, I met this beautiful young lady a few months ago. She just captivated me just with her beauty, number one, and just
thank
how
you.
intelligent and where your mind is right now to be a youth in society. Very impressive.
Thank
really,
you.
it really
Thank
is.
you. Thank you. I really appreciate
So thank you again for being here. I know it was a trek for you to get here all the way from Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. I had to take the LIRR, you know, transfer the tracks, but I made it here. It was okay. I never took the LIRR before, but you know, I made it work.
Yes.
So
Oh my God.
it was good.
She traveled on the trailways just to get to the You're Our Unity show. So I appreciate that, my friend, especially from Brooklyn. That is so cool. I can't tell you the last time I've been on the train. Well, actually, I was on the train a few months ago, but it was not by choice. I try to stay away from them, but I'm glad that you were able to make it here. So as I mentioned, you're just into science, obviously. You mentioned that.
Yes, very much so.
Very passionate about advocating for
Yes.
diversity, inclusivity, and equity. I first want to delve a little into your childhood.
Okay.
You're still a young lady, but
Yes.
you did go through a time of childhood. So tell us a little about your upbringing.
So as you said earlier, I did grow up in Brooklyn. I grew up in Bensonhurst, but I now live in Sheepshead Bay. So it's definitely a very different environment because in Bensonhurst, it's like there's always some kind of noise, some kind of like people laughing in the street, you know, also like the stores like never close.
Right.
So it's kind of like if you think about like a smaller Manhattan Times Square type energy. And so I went from that to like living in like basically like my suburban neighborhood now, where it's like a lot of like wilderness, there's like parks and stuff, and it's like very, very quiet. So I will admit that growing up, like I could not sleep without hearing like the train running by or like some kind of noise, and like now I always have to have like the TV on. So like to sleep, because like I can't sleep without noise now. It's just like from when I was like growing up.
Oh my God! So your calm is in the chaos and the noise. That is so funny. I actually have to go to sleep that same way.
Really?
I have to have the TV lull me to sleep, and then I'm fine. It's just to quiet the noise that's already in my head. So how was it adjusting like this to this new this new environment? Not only because of the noise, but also the people.
Yeah, I will definitely say that Bensonhurst is very, very diverse. Of course, in its food, in the people that are there, you know, things like that. And then now my neighborhood is primarily like Italian, Irish, stuff like that. So I will say it was a little difficult for me because also in my neighborhood, a lot of the people grew up there. So it's kind of like a generational area.
Right.
So like they're not like as welcoming of the people that just moved there. So I didn't really have many friends. But of course, you know, I grew into it. Like it was fine. And I do have friends that live there now. So I'm very happy about that. But yeah, it definitely was a change. But I was young enough to the point where I could like still be molded. And like I've always been very adaptable. So I kind of just I started being more into nature because there was only nature around, so I had no choice. Yeah, I kind of had no choice. But I was I'm very into nature now and like going on walks as opposed to before when I used to like I don't know like the jungle gym.
Right.
So but yeah, I think that was like
that's so cool. Are you the only child?
I am.
You are. Okay. So again, you now wanting to learn about nature, was it because you felt you was forced to at this point? You was trying to find like, I don't know, maybe you didn't have that tribe yet. So it was like being in that silence, that solace with yourself that you became more interested in nature?
I would say yes, because also, like I said, there really was only nature there. So it was like, that's like what I had to do, you know, like I had to like go out for walks. I had to go to the park or else I was just going to be at home the whole time.
Right.
But I did end up really liking it, even though I'm very deathly like afraid of bugs.
Really?
But yes, I'm like very afraid, but I do really enjoy nature, and I have gotten over my fear a little bit.
I love that.
I think it was pretty
helpful.
It was helpful. It was definitely helpful. And yeah, I think nature is definitely like a place where like you can think and like be alone with your thoughts. And so like me being like an only child,
Yeah.
like that was something that I was like kind of used to. So like it blended in for me. It was just me like thinking, writing and stuff, but like in like good scenery.
No, I love that.
You know?
I love that. And I think it also puts you a little closer to life and its existence. You know,
Yes.
that's what I love about being in the silence of nature and just in solence with myself. It is because now I'm literally living and breathing everything else around me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's
and
very
you kind of,
peaceful.
it is, and you get to
Yes.
understand the reasons for its existence a little bit more as well. So I can appreciate what you're saying in regard to your, you know, the way that you fell in love with nature.
Yeah.
So let me ask you now, you're a young lady, you know, in this new neighborhood. When did you finally find your people, your friends, your tribe?
I will say that it was, I'll say middle school to high school, because I went to a middle school that was close to my area. But I will also say that like just like my area, it was primarily like Russian and like, you know, so I was definitely like one of the only people of color like in my entire grade, if not the entire school.
Oh wow.
So that was definitely an experience. But
how was it navigating that?
Very interesting because
okay, tell us about it.
I would like, okay, I won't lie. The environment there was very cutthroat, especially towards people of color. Like there was a lot of, you know, homophobia, transphobia, like racism going around. So like it was kind of like, you know, like that moment where like you get, everybody has this moment where like they get bullied growing up, right? So like that was like kind of my moment to get bullied growing up.
Oh wow.
But it wasn't like, it was just something that like I kind of learned to get used to like in the middle school. But also I think it taught me a lot about like how like people work and like how to deal with certain people, because at like a point there was just like nothing that they really could do anymore. So it was just like kind of, we all had to be friends.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
It was kind of like, I kind of,
nothing you're going to say is going to penetrate me.
Yeah, exactly.
I get it.
So
I know what you're doing.
Exactly.
I don't believe you. You're lying. You don't know who I am.
You know who I am.
Yeah, so that's what that was. I love that. So you did not allow that to affect you. The fact that it existed.
No, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And so like I think that's how I kind of got to learn how to get along with people that are different from me. And that's helped me a lot, especially like my high school career and like the work that I do. Yeah, so that experience kind of like did help me and shape me in like a positive way.
That's actually really good. Did you have anyone that you could confide in? That you have it? Oh, you did. So who was that outlet? Who was that person?
My two best friends, Tatiana and Khalees, still best friends to this day.
Aww.
They are amazing, absolutely phenomenal. And during that time, so they're also women, people of color. So we went through the exact same things together. So we would obviously talk about it. We would like debrief. It was basically like we had like a bond between us because of that, but also we knew that we could like trust each other no matter what, and like confide in each other with everything because of that shared experience. And because we knew we'd never turn to each other, because honestly, you know,
I get it.
There was already people turning on us.
Exactly.
so we can't do more.
We have to be our best friends forever and ever. No, that's amazing. Because in that, I'm sure, you know, others saw that you guys were unaffected by how they treat. So how did that work to your favor in the end?
I think that it definitely gained us a lot of respect, because there were people that like, you know, did take it and kind of like they became more shy, more introverted, but like us were like, I would say very independent women and like very opinionated and strong in that way. And so like I think that made us like very well respected in our middle school, just because people were like, oh wow, like they're really doing the thing.
Right.
Even though they're getting put down, but they're still doing the thing. And so now in high school, those same people from our middle school is like kind of gravitating towards us now, especially because it's like a very different world than when we were in middle school, especially like after COVID. I think they've changed a lot of their ways, and they're trying to like, you know, be friends with the people who are cool, which is us, obviously.
Exactly.
Which is us, obviously.
Exactly. Obviously.
Obviously.
Oh my God. Well, I love that because you've become obviously the shining example. So let me ask you in terms of, your upbringing and what your parents kind of instilled in you. You being the only child, I have an only child as well. This young lady is now 27 years old, and I didn't realize half of the things that I should have done, that I didn't do, that I thought I did, that she didn't get, that she's now looking for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I get that. We always expect you to graduate from high school. You're now in college and you're supposed to be this adult, but it takes, and this mature person that knows who they are. And it kind of takes time for you to develop that. I'm 50 something years old and I'm still trying to figure out who I am. So I want to know, like, what kind of foundation did your parents lay for you that kind of made you be that person that was able to navigate that school and the kids the way that you did?
Yeah, I think my parents definitely taught me, like, number one, like, don't take anything from anyone. You know what I'm saying? Like, be who you are, and like, be like, say it proud. Like, don't let anybody tell you that you're wrong in like thinking something or doing something if you know that you're right.
Right.
That's the first thing. So I think that taught me, like, also to be very independent. So like, don't like rely on people for your happiness. Don't rely on people to like do work for you. Like, you should be doing the work yourself. So I think that's why for me, I have a very strong work ethic. Like, I can do work for hours and hours and hours because like my parents told me, the only way that you get somewhere is by working hard.
I love that.
And being independent, and nobody's going to do it for you. So you need to do it for yourself. So if you want stuff, you got to work for that. And yeah,
I love
so
that.
I
love that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did with my daughter as well. Is just to show, especially since she's an only child, to rely on yourself, and to know that anything that you want to achieve and you believe that you can achieve, you can. You just have to put in the work. So I see clearly that you're doing that. I love, everything that you have going on in your world. You mentioned that you were captivated by chemistry. When did that happen? How did that happen? That's typically like a white male dominated field.
Yes.
So where did that come from? Was it nature?
Actually, no.
Okay.
Because I did like nature when I was younger, but I got more into nature like probably like in high school. But actually it kind of correlates, but no.
Okay.
So basically, when I was younger, I decided I want to be a doctor because I watched Grey's Anatomy. So I love Grey's Anatomy for that. Thank you. And so I thought that I was going to be like really interested in biology. Okay. So I took those courses in middle school. And then in high school, I took Regents chemistry, and it was like, I don't know, something snapped, something unlocked. Number one, my teacher was amazing. She was absolutely phenomenal.
Okay.
Number two, my classmates were amazing. And it was a very like supportive environment. And I never had that type of dynamic in a classroom before. And so I think that's part of like what really made me like, because like if you like the classroom and you like the teachers, and you normally like the subject more. And also it was just something I was really good at because I have always been good at math, and chemistry is a lot of math, but it's also like the application of math and seeing how that makes up every single thing. Like if you think about it, chemistry makes up like every single thing that we see here, like everything in the atmosphere, things we can't see, like that's made up by chemistry.
Yes.
And we can like predict that using I don't know. I'm about to geek out. But
no, I love that. I love that you say that, because I was about to give you the wiki web definition because I had to be prepared for my scholar here. So chemistry is the scientific study of the properties and behavior of matter. It is a physical science within the natural sciences that studies the chemical elements that make up matter and compounds made of atoms, molecules, and ions. So technical. Their composition, structure, properties, behavior, and the changes they undergo during reactions with others. You're in junior high school. What made you want to figure out how matter matters?
That was good.
Wasn't it?
Honestly, I really think that it was because of like my passion for becoming a doctor, because like I said, my parents did tell me if you want something, you got to work for it. And I really wanted that. Yeah. So it was something that I knew I had to become interested in. Right. And also once I took the course in high school, I was like, okay, I'm set. Wow. Like I'm done. And then also that same teacher, like we all have to choose majors in my school. And so that teacher, I went to the chemical engineering major fair, and I asked her, I said, I want to be a doctor. Is this a major for me? She told me, well, you might want to choose the LIU health ones. And I was like, and then she told me that if you choose chemical engineering, you will be my favorite student. And so that's why I chose chemical engineering. And I ended up, it was like the best decision I've ever made so far. It's absolutely phenomenal. I love my major. First of all, like the people in my major, and I love the classes that I'm taking.
I love
it's
that.
Amazing.
What did it unlock in you? Because you said that, once you started delving deeper into chemistry opposed to biology and physics, you said something happened, something clicked. What did it exactly unlock in you that made you want to contribute to that field? Because it's intensive. It's a lot of work, So what was it that kind of like made you fascinated? Like said, I want to do this because.
Ooh, I mean, I think that when somebody finds something that they want to study, like in their life, and make that their life's goal, they always want to do something that they think that they either have like a unique perspective on, or something that they feel that they are very, very good at. And so for me, because I had like never really felt that way about a subject. Like I've never felt like, oh, I love this subject. Like forget about the teacher, the class, whatever. Like I love what is going on, and I love what I'm learning about, and it's fascinating, and I think I can really add to this.
I love that.
And like I said earlier, I was good at math, but not the way that I was good at chemistry, because it was like I didn't even need to be taught. It was something that I just knew. Like I don't know what I like. That sounds kind of corny.
No,
but
it doesn't. No, that is fascinating.
I don't know, like, because especially when I was taking AP chemistry, it was a lot of like self-study, but I never really studied for that class.
Wow.
And it was my favorite class I've ever taken in high school. It was absolutely like if I could go back into one class, it would be that class.
Wow.
And it was just like, it was so easy for me. It was something that I just got and I knew, and I was just really like extremely good at. Like
that is
like
amazing.
It was just inside of me, like
like your talent,
like a talent.
that
like
was
a talent.
unlocked. That's
like
what
a hidden talent.
that is your gift, and that is your talent. And I'm glad that you're exploring it even deeper, becoming a chemical engineer. That is huge. So I want you to tell us real quick about what exactly does a chemical engineer do? What will be, your role? And I understand that there's different types of chemical engineers. So have you figured out which one you want to kind of delve into? Is it biochemical, environmental, process, plant design? Which one were you more into?
Well, the thing is that my ultimate goal is to become a doctor. I would love to do chemical engineering for like my undergrad and like get my degree in it though. And maybe go into industry and then become a doctor. But, but I have a lot of goals. But a chemical engineer is someone who basically takes chemistry and chemical principles, and then they use that to make stuff. That's the simple definition. They use it to like I'll give you an example. Right now, we're learning about material balances, so that's process units. And what that is that, let's say we have like a specific gas going in. How much is going to come out? What is that going to help us make? And like how to like accelerate that process. That's what chemical engineers do, really. They just try to make things better, or they try to like predict what is going to be made in like a factory. And so for me, I think the most interesting field, I don't know if I would do this if given the chance. I don't know. I'd have to see. I'm still early. But I
still got time.
I have time.
Yes, you do.
But the one that interests me the most is cosmetic engineering.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I don't know. Because like I from a young age, I have been like into makeup. I don't wear like a lot of it, but I've been, I watched a lot of YouTube videos, all the TikTok stuff like that. And it's just like so cool to me that you can use chemicals to make something that can either help somebody feel better about themselves, or just make somebody look like beautiful.
I love that. I love that. And that is so true. And and that brings me to my next question, because you said that you want to use science to serve others.
Yes.
So what does that mean exactly? In what capacity? And yeah, just what does that mean exactly?
Yeah, so for me, a big thing has been like wanting to help others in any way possible. Like I feel kind of fulfilled when like I get to like help somebody do something. Like I always offer, you can ask like all my friends, I always offer help with like anything because like I genuinely do like helping them.
Right.
And so for me, since I'm also like, I feel like my talent is like chemistry and science and stuff, I wanted to find a way to kind of like merge the two. And I thought that the way to do that was going to be like through being a doctor, because not only are you integrated in the community, because especially depending on where you work, you're definitely going to be integrated in the community, but you get to basically heal people and like give them another chance and give them hope when they might not have had that before.
Yeah, no, I really truly love that. I do. And it's important that we have these innovative thinkers out there. And the fact that you're delving in so many different areas of medicine and science will be very helpful, you know, for us in the future, especially with the ways technology is changing and just the world and life is changing. So that's amazing. It really is. So we know that science, because I don't want to bore you with all the scientific talk.
Guys.
Exactly, right? I'm saying we also, in addition to science, you know, chemistry is a science. Chemistry is also in relation to relationships and how we build
1000%.
relations. Yeah, definitely. So I mentioned that you are the president of the student equity team at your school, Brooklyn Technical High School, an amazing high school. It really, really is.
Yes.
What do you do as this president of student equity, and how did this even come about, the student equity team?
So the team was actually there before I even got to the school.
Oh wow,
so,
really?
Yes.
Oh,
surprisingly.
Yes, because I thought you guys, your group created it.
We definitely made its presence known.
Oh, okay.
Like definitely last year. Last year was a very good year for us. But it was there before I got there. But yeah, so as a president, what I do is that I take problems that happen within our school, especially related to equity. I try to do other stuff too, just because, you know, solving problems is cool. But I usually just take problems related to equity, make solutions for it, implement it, and like try to make the community better. Another thing that I do is lead monthly speakouts. We actually have one this Thursday.
Oh wow.
So yeah,
cool.
It's for representation and Hispanic representation in tech, because there is not a lot of it at all. They're actually, I think, the smallest ethnic group aside from Native Americans.
Wow,
yeah,
really?
In the specialized high school system.
Right.
Yeah, so it's very it's a very crucial issue in our community, and so I wanted to give them a space to talk about it. So this Thursday,
I love that.
This Thursday we're doing that. But yeah, that's kind of the essence of what I do. It's usually just speak outs, events, and of course, like we have like initiatives and like problems that we solve within the school.
I love that. So it is about bringing diversity into tech itself. Is it also speaking to diversity within the school in general?
Oh, sorry, tech. I mean Brooklyn Tech.
Okay. Oh, Brooklyn. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
I was about to say. I was like, wait, is it just okay? So I get it. So it is for the school as a whole, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So let me ask you, what kind of conversations, other than obviously the one that you're having this Thursday and tackling this Thursday, what other kinds of conversations are you guys having? And more importantly, what are the students hoping to get out of, you know, this program, this team?
Right. So we've had speak outs in the past about anti-racist and queer affirming classrooms, about microaggressions, about sexual harassment at our school, about the cost of being at Brooklyn Tech, because there is a lot of hidden costs and stuff like that. And I think from these conversations and from the team themselves, the students kind of get to let their voices be heard, especially because me personally, I have like a very close connection with the principal. And so he comes to every single one of our speak outs. That's how I got my close connection. Yeah. So he really does like listening to the students, and he really does take what we say like into consideration, which I think is absolutely phenomenal of him. But yeah, so I think that that's the main reason why people come to speak out, is because they know that the administration will be there, and that their voice will be able to be heard, and that they can actually like speak their truth without repercussions about an issue that they're passionate about.
Right.
And I think from the team itself, it's kind of the same thing. Like students get to have their voices be heard. But also I think that the team, especially its function since last year, and like solving issues that are pertinent, like very, very pertinent. Like we didn't have Wi-Fi last year.
Wow.
And we got that back.
Really?
So, yes.
And mind you, you are one of the top rated schools, and you're literally telling me you did not have Wi-Fi?
It's a really long story, but yes.
Okay, we don't
Really
have to
long
get
story.
into the story, but I'm appalled right now. So you had to have a whole meeting and a talk out about the Wi-Fi.
It was a little more than that. So basically what happened was that I'll tell the short version of the story. So after APs the year before that, so in my sophomore year, after APs, they just shut off the Wi-Fi.
Oh.
And they were saying it was because like there wasn't enough bandwidth, and like the students were playing like Netflix and stuff, and so they turned it off. But the thing is that a lot of the classes in our school require assignments to be turned in by the end of the period using Wi-Fi.
Thank you.
And then also, like, let's say that you couldn't do your assignments at home because you don't have Wi-Fi. Now you can't even do them at school. So now your grades just dropping and dropping and dropping. Like, it was to the point where people almost weren't going to be able to take the Regents because they were failing lab because they weren't turning in their labs.
Oh my God.
So yeah,
That's
it was awful. And so our SGO did try to tackle it, but you know, with them there was a lot of you know, because they're like an official organization. We're actually not like a club or anything. We're just kind of like a school-wide organization. So it gives us a little bit more freedom than like, let's say, the SGO. So for us, we kind of just been like, okay, we want to solve this problem. So I just started having meetings with the principal every single week. And I'm like, hey, please.
Yes, just hear us out. Just come and listen to our concerns. So what do you feel, you know, now that you've tackled the Wi-Fi issue, what are the other real concerns that you guys have as a whole?
Yeah, so I think also I will talk a little bit more about last year. So we only had one gender neutral bathroom, and so we basically, as the equity team, got them to create another one.
Nice.
Because and it's also a changing room because there is no locker room for non-binary students, and so that was something we tackled. I will also say this year, it was from last year into this year, but having a more inclusive curriculum, because I think we all know, and I definitely know because being in STEM, being in chem, there is no representation of POC in the curriculum. And so we are trying to change that. We do work with the advisory teams at our school because everybody in my school takes advisory, even if you're a senior, which, but you know, you know, anyway, but basically, we're working with the advisory team, since everybody at our school takes advisory, to try to plan lessons that are going to teach people about how to respect others, how to welcome diversity, how to be more inclusive, things like that. And then right now, currently, still working on it though, the freshmen are reading a specific novel, like it's a mandated thing in our school now, where they read like one of the novels, like The House on Mango Street. I don't know if you know about that one.
No, I don't.
Oh, it's basically about like this I'm pretty sure it's like a kind of a poor Hispanic girl, and she's like trying to navigate the world, you know, the translations and everything like that, and going to school. I read it in my freshman year. It was amazing.
Wow.
Amazing experience. So basically we're just like having the curriculum be changed so that freshmen are mandated to learn about these inclusive things, because teachers do it sometimes, but a lot don't. And so by mandating it, which I know a lot of people don't like, but by mandating it, we are ensuring that there will be a more diverse curriculum.
I love that, actually, because it's needed. And I know that your school has a lot of minority groups in it. So how is it sort of bridging that gap, like bringing the teachers to the students, to the curriculum? How is it bridging that gap? Is what you're doing helpful? And are the teachers and the faculty listening to what you guys are trying to accomplish?
I would say yes. I would say more often than not, faculty are very receptive. So last year, at the end of the year, we did have like a presentation in front of the entire faculty. So they all had to listen.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So they all had to listen. And it was basically about how to deal with like microaggressions, how to make your classroom more inclusive, how to like deal with students' mental health, things like that. And so I think by giving them that training, we are going to be able to hold them accountable. And I think that has been working because I haven't been hearing many complaints from students.
I love that.
Which I'm very happy about.
Yes.
And then as far as like bringing the teachers and students together, at our speak outs, we invite every single teacher and we invite every single student.
Okay.
So, and like, honestly, it's very cool to see like the teachers kind of like sit back for once and like listen to us talk.
Thank you. And
teach
they're
them.
the student.
And they're the student. And then sometimes they make like really like I feel like a teacher sometimes because they be making really insightful remarks. Like I'm like, oh my God, wait, I never thought about that before. And now it's like, oh, like we're all literally learning from each other. Like it's not like, oh, you're the teacher, I'm the student.
Right.
Let me listen to you. It's kind of like, oh, we're all on the same level, like trying to solve a problem together.
Yeah.
Another way is that we have an adult equity team and a student equity team.
Okay.
And so the adult equity team kind of like takes care of like all of the adults in like training and like diversifying the curriculum, stuff like that. And so basically they like try to get us to come to every single one of their meetings.
Really?
So that because they really do welcome like the student perspective.
Right.
And so we try to go as much as possible and like really tell them what we want to see. And honestly, they really just wait for us because they're like, you know what, whatever you guys want, that's what we're doing.
That's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
So you don't even have to ask. It's already done. No, I totally
Exactly.
get that. I really love, because we didn't have this when I was going to school. It was, the student goes in, there was already a curriculum plan. The teachers were already taught what they needed to teach us, and that was it. Do you find that we're going to need this, these type of programs in every school, not just in Brooklyn Tech?
Yes.
Do you believe that this should be in every school system, in every school program?
Absolutely, 1000%. Yes.
You do. Tell me a little about that.
I do, because okay, think about it. Like I think that the student equity team, or at least from my time at Tech, the student equity team has had like one of the biggest impacts on our school community.
Nice.
Like students actually like what's it called? They trust us enough to come and talk to us, and then we get to bring that to the faculty, and the faculty being receptive enough, they get to kind of implement what the students want. So I feel like the community has just gotten like so much better and brighter and everything like that. And there is like less of a gap between teachers and students now, especially like through the speak outs, like because they're all there together.
Exactly.
So I think 100% yes, just for like community engagement, community feeling, more inclusivity and diversity. Yes.
Yes.
I would also say though, I will give props to our administration, and I will say that they do amazing trainings for the teachers, because the reason why the teachers are so receptive is because of what they've been taught.
Exactly.
And so during the teacher PD days, they have like a lot of like diversity, equity, inclusion training. Like literally almost all of it is. And so I think that definitely helps a lot for like when they now have to listen to the students, or like now thinking about their curriculum and things like that. So I think, yes, a student equity team is 100,000% needed. But I think also, this is another one of my big things, that teachers need to be more educated on how to actually deal with certain situations and like how to navigate DEI.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I really do. And I think that this new world that we're living in, is really what's driving that focus right now. That 100%. We have to have these programs and these classes and just these whole types of groups come together to speak on these issues, because these were things that were just swept up under the rug. How do you feel, about that? The fact that it's definitely needed, obviously, but what do you think about the world and how it has driven us to need those type of programs?
I think that the world now has become a very, very conscious one. So like, I think that people are actually thinking about like the consequences of their actions.
Yes.
100%. I also think that we are more empathetic and like trying to like put ourselves in each other's shoes. And I think that is like, I think one of the best qualities you can have is like being empathetic, because if you can understand somebody else's situation and understand like why that's making them act the way you feel, number one, you save yourself a lot of stress. And number two, you are definitely going to be a better friend to that person and a better companion to them. So I think in the way that the world is changing, it's definitely changing for the better. But I also think that it's definitely needed a little more change.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with that. But I think, and I love that you say that it is changing for the better. I feel that the youth is really contributing and driving that change.
Oh yeah, actually, I think that our youth, like in my generation, is like one of like the biggest like involved youth in like politics and like world issues and things like that. And I think that is definitely that's very new. And it's something that I think should definitely continue, because being educated is one of the best things that you can do.
Yes,
and being involved is also one of the best things you can do. I do also think that sometimes when people are not fully educated or do not have like the right information or facts, that can be detrimental. But for the most part, I think that is like definitely like one of the most amazing things
that is
going on now.
That's what I love. I love that their voice, they have a voice, and they're wanting their voices to be heard. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And we're not just going to rely on you do as I say as I do, and just keep it moving. Like it's now I need to know the whys to your reasons, to the reason why you want me to do things. So I love that you guys are speaking to that and looking to change that, to that narrative that we're just supposed to fall in line and not question why we're feeling the way we're feeling, why you want us to do these things.
Yeah, we're like taking a stand.
Yeah, I love it. I so love it. So you're also part of and a founding member of the support group in school. What are we supporting? What kind of support group is it?
It's like an emotional support group.
Really?
Yes.
Oh my God. So people are coming to you like with real problems?
Yes.
I love it. So what not to tell people's business, but what kind of issues are you tackling even there?
There, I would say that we do talk a lot about, because again, I do go to specialized high school, so the stress levels are very up there. So definitely people talking about stress of classes, stress of the workload, stress of, because also our school, it's not technically mandated, but like almost everybody in our school participates in like at least 1 to 2 to 3 clubs, and that is after school.
Okay.
And so like definitely like life balance, like managing friends and school and work and homework and clubs.
Yes.
I hear a lot about that. I will also say like relationship issues, because although we are in high school, there is still some middle school drama.
Yes, it is. Love is still in the air in the high school buildings, my friends. I know that's right.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I've been hearing about that. I won't lie. But yeah, we also do hear some things about like home life and how like that can be stressful, because a lot of our population is also like raised from immigrant parents, and like that can be like another like very harsh environment, just because like they want that American dream for their child. They want to push their child to do more. And so I think a lot of people I've seen in the support groups, they do so much work that because of their parents, and then they become burnt out, and then it's like it's kind of like they give up, and like they don't even care about like what's like going on and stuff.
How are you counseling these people? I mean, are you providing resources for them? Are you just sort of like an ear for them to just lay out what their problems are? Or are you actually like giving them guidance to where they need to go in order to work out whatever issues they may have? Because I'm sure some of these issues are huge,
Yes, for sure. I will say that the school social worker, who is I love her so much, Miss Martini, I love you.
I love you.
But
I'm serious.
But yeah, she's always there. And so she definitely provides like real, like, like basically therapists, like, advice. But for me, I think that I am more of like an ear to people. And also I think that I can relate to a lot of what they're going through. And also I'm not gonna say anything crazy, but I think I do have like a pretty good life balance. So I think that I can give them some advice on how to like juggle things. So yeah, I think I do give out like a good amount of advice, but I do also a lot of listening and just understanding and like giving them that space to talk, because sometimes you just need to talk.
Well, that's what I was going to say. And sometimes someone just wants you to listen, to understand. And once they lay it out, they feel so much better.
Yes,
and don't even want your advice. Don't even want your guidance. I just need that ear. So I'm so glad that you guys provide that. How important do you think that is actually? I mean, knowing that Brooklyn Tech is a very, educationally intensive school. You have to give a lot, because you're not only looking to, excel at your classes, but also beyond that, because you're looking for your future now. You know what I mean? And people are also looking where you came from to determine what your future is going to be. So how important is it to have those type of groups there, that support group there?
I'm glad you asked this question, because I am in a research program at my school, and I actually did research on this exact thing.
Oh, wow.
So I did research on like stress levels and like how they're impacted by different things. And the thing that helped kids like by far, like the most, was support groups.
Nice.
So would I say it's needed? 100%. Even if people don't go to it, at least knowing that option is there, and knowing that you have a place where you can basically like anonymously like rant and like talk about your issues and get advice if you need it, or just have like basically like just like I would call it a best friend. Like just have like a best friend that's like there for you, like whenever you need it. I think that's something that is like integral to like growing up, and like also something that should be in schools, because there is some times where it is hard for kids to make friends, and so like that can be their outlet to having something that they really need.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think it is. It's so important that they realize that they have not only an outlet, but someone who cares about what they're going through, and that is also understanding of what they're going through. Because again, it's not just about excelling for yourself, but you're worrying about your family and what they've 100%. Invested into your education and your hopes and your dreams. So you always want to live up to it, but you don't want to do it to the detriment of yourself and your health. So, in this role at your school, let me ask you, like, how has the group impacted the school sort of environment, the culture? How have these groups helped or harmed what you guys are trying to accomplish?
I think that I don't think it's harmed, for sure. I think there definitely is like a good impact.
Excellent.
Because people do come back. People do tell their friends about it. They bring their friends next time. And then also I'm a little upset about it, but I've been noticing that Miss Martini, who's the social worker, she's been getting like more and more requests to like have like private sessions with people from the group. So it's like, I think this is really helpful for them. And like they do sometimes, but they end up coming in with like a frown on their face, or like something that is like really on their mind, and they end up leaving like clear-headed, like ready to go through the day. They're like, okay, this is like, I just needed this right now. Thank you guys so much. And like also I think something that helps is like she has like these stress toys and so like the stress balls and like the poppets, and I think that is definitely very helpful to me, to everybody.
Do you do meditation, self-care?
Yes, we actually do. We do meditation, self-care, journaling. We have essential oils for like I think it's like aromatherapy. We have like the poppets for people who like to fidget. We have like the pillows that like the sequins, if you rub it, it goes like different ways. I love those.
I love
That's my favorite thing ever. We have that too. And we have like a bunch of stickers. Oh, we also have art therapy, where we have just people like painting in the corner.
I love that. They're offering you a lot of outlets, a lot of resources.
Yes, it really, they really
outside of your academics, that is helping you be whole people, because you cannot be and excel in school if you're not healthy and whole inside. You know what I mean?
Like you need to do that self-care. You need to like really like think about it and like, I don't know, just let go sometimes. And
you could burn yourself out.
You will definitely get burned out. I've been there before.
I'm so happy that you've learned how to manage it, that you figure out how to sort of work-life balance, because a lot of kids don't. You've seen, the amount of kids committing suicide and all of those things.
Unfortunately,
so it is so unfortunate. Well, time is winding down. I want to get real quick. No, please, it's no sorry. It's more information, and you got to come back, my friend. But I need to know, what do you hope, what you're doing and the dreams and the hopes that you have, in addition to all that you're doing within your school? How do you hope to have that contribute to the world, to humanity?
I mean, for me, it's kind of just about like, if I know that I could genuinely like really impact somebody's life in a positive way, that's like enough for me. I know that sounds really corny, but like I'm serious. Like I like knowing that somebody is like happy because of me or because of the actions that I've done in high school, be in college, as a doctor, as a chemical engineer. That is something that would like genuinely fulfill me.
I love that. I love that. Well, any parting words? We're going to put up your information where you can follow my beautiful Aisha. I'm not going to say her last name because I know I'm going to mess it up again, but you can follow her at Aisha Mowla. Please tell us, what would you like to share with the viewers?
I don't know. I didn't really think about this. I would just say do stuff that makes you happy. Make sure you get your work done, but try to do stuff that makes you happy. Or a really good thing I heard is do something that scares you every single day, because then you won't be scared anymore.
Oh, I love that. Do something that you're afraid of every single day, so then you won't be afraid anymore. I love that. I love that. Thank you so much, Aisha, for being here.
For inviting me.
You have been amazing, my friend, as well as just providing me with the wealth of information. And I'm so glad that you're out there just serving others in the capacity that you're doing.
Me too.
I think it's really amazing. And keep doing it, okay?
I will. Thank you.
All right, no problem. So we're going to get real quick to the Dare to Be You. And the Dare to Be You for the day today is: the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. And that's basically, isn't that good? I love it, right?
So good.
That's basically what we were discussing.
That's so real.
Thank you. Tell us why you think it's real. I know why I think it's real, but that statement.
Because that's like actually true. Like you are genuinely transformed by the people that you meet, and that is what happens in a chemical reaction.
Yes, it is, my friends. And that's what we've discussed today. It literally is about diverse chemistry, bringing those two things together and making them work, building a bond and making it matter, my friends.
God.
I did that. I'm about to drop the mic.
You ate
anyway. I'd like to thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Your Our Unity. But I first like to thank again my beautiful guest,
Thank you for having me.
for being here. We want you guys to have a wonderful evening. Please remember that peace and love is in the palm of our hands. So let's go out there and be some love, share some love, and give some love. We'll see you next week on Your Our Unity. I love you, and I want you to have a good night. Say good night, Aisha.
Good night.
See you later.
Strong Island Entertainment.